Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to slim down and shape up. My name is Ben Greenfield and I'm the Get Fit Guy. Let's say you've decided that you want to get stronger or build muscle and you want to do it as quickly and efficiently as possible. Problem is, there's conflicting evidence out there. For example, should you A, do the same exercises in your weight routine over and over again each week while gradually increasing the load and the intensity? Or B, should you change up your exercises each week so you're attacking your muscles from different angles and with new moves? Well, in this episode, you're going to discover exactly which method is best and get 4 ways to get stronger and to build muscle faster using some of the top strength gaining and muscle building exercises out there. Now, when it comes to what kind of exercise gets you strongest, fastest, a recent study investigated the effects of different methods, increasing the load versus varying the exercises. And this study actually compared 4 different strength training schemes. Stay with me here. Number 1 was constant intensity, meaning the load wasn't changed, and constant exercise, meaning the exercises weren't changed. Number 2 was constant intensity and varied exercise. Number 3 was varied intensity and constant exercise. And finally, varied intensity and varied exercise. So they pretty much chose every combination of varying intensity or varying exercise or keeping intensity constant and keeping exercise constant that they could. Each group in the study performed twice weekly training for 12 weeks. You can read the study that I'll link to in the show notes for the nitty-gritty details. But in the end, the ultimate finding in the research was this: constant intensity and varied exercise is the most efficient way to produce strength gains for physically active individuals as long as the chosen training intensity is hard enough to make the muscle fatigued by the end of the set. But actual muscle hypertrophy or growth is similar regardless of the training intensity and the exercise variation. So, what does that mean? Well, for the ultimate combination of strength gaining and muscle building, you should vary your exercise each week and perform those exercises at an intensity that allows your muscles to reach fatigue by the end of each set. So now that you know what the research says, it's time to learn variations of 4 different exercises that will allow you to not be doing the same exercises over and over again when you work out. Let's start with the back squat, which is widely regarded as the holy grail among powerlifters, Olympic weightlifters, and seemingly everyone on the internet. The problem is people talk about back squatting much like they talk about eating their vegetables. Everyone says they do it, but it's tough to say exactly how much. Well, when it comes to back squats, people often lack the proper ankle and hip mobility for optimum form. They also lack proper tension in the upper back and the breathing technique necessary to maintain form and tension through the squat. Well, doing back squats correctly will get you truly strong, and you can check out my episode entitled "Are Squats Safe?" for instructions on exactly how to do them. Now, once you master the basic back squat, there are 3 variations I'd suggest, and like anything I talk about in the show, you can go check out links, exercise demonstration videos, and more over at quickanddirtytips.com. You'll want to look for the show notes to episode number 227. So the 3 variations of the squat. Number 1 would be the barbell lunge. This variation provides your posterior chain muscles, aka your butt, the benefits of a back squat while also adding a single leg component. Just start with the barbell on your back and then complete either a forward lunge or a reverse lunge. Now, variation 2 is the front squat, and this lift most closely resembles the back squat. You put the bar on the front of your body. You can do this by crossing your arms over a barbell or setting the barbell over your collarbones in what's called a front rack position. Squatting to full depth in this position and keeping your chest up simultaneously will provide a whole new challenge for your quads, abs, back, and willpower. Variation number 3 is the overhead squat, and even athletes will be surprised by how much this lift tests them, challenging ankle, hip, and shoulder mobility while maintaining core stability with a weight overhead. Now, the second exercise you should know some variations of is the deadlift. The basic version of the deadlift goes like this. You pick a bar off the ground while keeping the bar close to your shins and your thighs throughout the lift. You keep your chest up, you look forward, you maintain a neutral spine, and you exhale while lifting the bar overhead. Now, there are 3 variations that work similar muscles. Number 1 is the dead walks. For this, you start with your feet in a staggered stance, one foot slightly in front of the other, and you slowly lower your torso to the side of your lead foot, the foot that's in front of you, as if you're doing a regular deadlift. Then you step your back foot up to the lead foot as you raise your torso the same way as you lowered. So you are basically taking mini steps with the weight as you do the deadlift. Don't worry, there is a video over in the show notes at quickanddirtytips.com. Variation 2 is tempo goblet squats. Now, even though this is a squatting movement, this will boost your deadlift by challenging the muscles around your spine, especially if you hold the bottom of this squat long enough. To do it, you grab a light weight like a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you hold it in front of your chest, and then you perform a regular squat, holding that weight at chest height and including a 15-second pause at the bottom of the squat before standing back up. And then finally, we have the deficit deadlift, in which you perform a deadlift off of a deficit. That means you stand on a raised surface like a step bench or stacked weight plates. You make sure your starting position is good by dropping your butt, and then you emphasize keeping your chest up, a straight back, and deep breathing as you lift that weight from a surface that's lower from you than you're accustomed to. Now, next is the overhead press. In a basic overhead press, you stand with the bar in the front rack position, up on your shoulders and close to your shoulders, and then you breathe out as you push the bar up, making sure not to smack your chin with the bar in the process. Well, there are a few variations. Variation number 1 is the push press, which is very similar to the basic overhead press, except it involves the hips. With the bar in that same front rack position, you lower your body with a slight bend in the knees and then explode up as you press the bar overhead. Variation 2 is something called Smith machine half rep presses. For this, you place a Smith machine, that apparatus at the gym in which a barbell is able to travel through a track, and you do an overhead press, but you do it at the sticking point of the overhead press, which is about halfway through the movement. So you're essentially doing just about a quarter to a half a repetition of a full repetition overhead press, or a full range of motion overhead press. So you perform your overhead presses with the Smith machine, but they're a half rep press. And then we have waiter walks, in which you grab one dumbbell, you press it into the locked out position. You make sure you keep a straight back, you press your elbows up to the ceiling with your shoulders next to your ears, and then with that weight overhead, walk the length of the gym or the space you're exercising in. And you can do this for about 30 to 60 seconds for each arm. And then finally there's pull-ups, and pull-ups come in 2 basic varieties, supinated grip or pronated grip, meaning you grip with your hands under the bar or over the bar, respectively. Now, once your grip is established, you pull your chin over the bar and lower to a lockout or fully extended position at the bottom. Pretty straightforward and, of course, easier said than done. But there are 3 additional options. One would be a wide grip lat pull down, in which with a pronated grip, that's hands over the bar, you perform a cable lat pull down while focusing on the lowering portion and a full contraction of your upper back. Variation 2 would be something called the pendlay row. With a loaded bar, you grab the bar with the same grip as you'd use to deadlift, but then you bend at your waist and keeping a flat, tight back, you pull the bar up with your elbows, pulling close at your sides, all the way up to your chest, and then you lower the bar to the ground. And variation 3 is 1.5 pull-ups, in which you perform 1 repetition of a regular pull-up, which you could do on an assisted pull-up machine at the gym if you have difficulty doing a body weight unassisted pull-up, and then you only lower halfway, and then you raise up to the top. So every rep you do is 1.5 pull-ups, as the name implies. Now, it's beyond the scope of this episode to give you an exact strength training routine that varies each of these exercises each week, but here's a good place to start. Choose 1 variation of each of the exercises I just described. Then do 3 to 5 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions of each exercise, choosing a weight that allows you to get to 8 repetitions without sacrificing good form, but to complete no more than 10 repetitions without your muscles getting completely fatigued. Complete each exercise back to back as a circuit, and do the circuit 3 to 5 times through, or Do 3 to 5 sets of each exercise before moving on to the next exercise, using about 60 to 90 seconds of rest between each set if you choose that latter non-circuit option. Now, there will be videos and demonstrations over in the show notes, again at quickanddirtytips.com. You'll want to visit the show notes for episode number 227. And if you have more questions about how to gain muscle faster or to get stronger faster or how to vary your exercises, or you've found one way that works best for you, or you have questions about any of the exercises that I just described, head over to facebook.com/getfitguy and join the conversation over there. And until next time, I'm Ben Greenfield, the Get Fit Guy, asking you, what are you waiting for? Go get fit.